You know, it's kind of cool this week. We get a chance to kick off our high school basketball coverage. Yeah, we're going to be doing games once again. It's big time basketball presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress, and to kind of get into the spirit of all of that.
It's going to be like us two or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be us on the call. We might as well start breaking down high school basketball as the season kind of ramping up towards the playoffs that are going to be going on pretty soon, and we will start in the Big 8, and why not? I mean, there's some really good basketball being played in the Big 8 Conference right now, and some of that being played by the Sun Prairie Cardinals, who have been on fire and proved once again this past weekend why they are so highly regarded.
Yeah, I mean, let's start there with the 4th ranked in the AP poll, Cardinals. I mean, you see scoring here, 69-46 over Brookfield Central, so a crossover as far as conferences go, but man, really proven why they're number 1 in the conference. They face a 3-point halftime deficit before rattling off 45 points in the second half. I mean, what else do you want? Jalen Johnson, just a sophomore, 25 points, 12 rebounds. Also had good scoring from Delaware Hale, 15 points. David Jeplin, another 10 points. So I don't know. When you get 3 guys scoring at least 10 points, you're doing pretty well.
Absolutely, yeah. They could score in bunches. Also when we talk Big 8 basketball, you're remiss if you don't talk about Madison Memorial. It seems like year in, year out, Coach Collins has his team flying high. They do it a little bit different. A lot of defense being played on that team year in and year out as well. So let's talk about Memorial. Hey, another big win for them.
Yeah, I mean, as you see, a 70-56 win. Maybe Beloit Memorial not the cream of the crop here as far as competition goes, but your Madison Memorial, remember, Sun Prairie, that one loss to Madison Memorial.
Yeah.
So a number 1 team, a number 2 team, I guess, and standing-wise in the conference. But, man, it's just going to be a great matchup, and we'll see that game on our schedule coming up in the Big Time Basketball Series.
I cannot wait for that. Actually, so the week of Thursday, February the 8th is when that game happens. We're going to have it on that weekend, and it's going to be Sun Prairie at Memorial. Memorial actually went to Sun Prairie and won. That game, quite possibly, when we do it, might just very well be for the Big 8 Conference Championship.
So don't miss that game,
No.
but also don't miss the other ones that we have coming up, which will start this week.
Yeah, we got some good ones. In fact, we're going to start in the Badger Conference, so we might as well talk some Badger Conference basketball then right now. And in the Badger Conference, this past weekend, they had their Badger Challenge, and they kind of pit North versus South, first place, second place games, third place. So whoever's in first in the South plays the first place in the North, and they go all the way down the line right there. So a lot to get to right there. And I guess, you could always start at the top of the conference, and Wanakee and the Warriors just keep on flying.
And like you mentioned, I mean, we're going to have the Edgewood-Stoughton game. We saw Stoughton, or we didn't go to the game, but the Stoughton Vikings taking on Wanakee in the Badger Challenge in Oregon, and that was another great game. You see Stoughton falling 63-44, even though Stoughton is on the pace where I got to talk with the head coach before the season started. I said, how is your team looking? He said, this is a Cole Center quality team. So this is before, this is even after seeing that they have some injuries going on. So getting us Stoughton loses this game to Wanakee, though. Senior guards Mitch Listow, 17 points. Mason Steffen, 14 points for Wanakee. So that's a good 1-2 punch. But really the key in that win for Wanakee was Dylan Hack, who had 3 3-pointers. He had 12 of his points. All of his points were in the second half.
Yeah, believe it or not, Stoughton had the lead at halftime. Wanakee came charging back, a 23-6 run to end the game right there. They can get hot. They are the kind of team, though, kind of live by the 3, die by the 3 kind of a squad, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how that ends up going, but it's what kind of risks do you want to take? Do you want to be that kind of team? And clearly that's a team that Wanakee wants to be. They outscored Stoughton 38-18 in the final 18 minutes of the game. Wanakee is now in sole possession of first place in the Badger North and 6th in the Division I AP poll.
Our first game of the season that's going to be on 57 Sports pits Edgewood at Stoughton, so we're going to see the Vikings. Edgewood, they didn't fare as well in this one. They come up on the short end of the stick against DeForest.
DeForest, another team we'll see that'll wrap up our big-time basketball series before the playoffs start. So DeForest, a team that's not really at the top of the conference standings, but they're still right in there. And same with Madison Edgewood. Madison Edgewood, an interesting team because they're only 1-8 in games against teams with a 500 record or better, yet they are the second scoring offense in the Badger South Conference. So it's, their defense maybe could use some work, but they even though they've lost a lot of players from last year, they lost 4 starters. The only guy coming back, Mandela Dang, and he's the one name we're going to really keep an eye on. I mean, they're still doing it. It's just not really translating to as many wins as they'd like against those 500 or better teams.
The last time we saw him, it was a comeback win against Stoughton to finish up the season last year as Edgewood was able to get a share of the South title with Stoughton. So that's our first game. It's coming up on Tuesday, and that is going to be a good one. Let's finish up this Badger Challenge 2. Monona Grove beating Mount Horeb in the second place game. That was a pretty good battle.
Yeah, how about that one? I mean, you see the scores here, a 62-59 win for MG, but it was a hard-earned win because it came down to the final seconds with a missed field goal, or free throw rather, with 5.7 seconds left. Mount Horeb gets the rebound, which then that's their chance to get the tying 3. Ran out of time, ball got stolen on an outlet pass, and that's the game.
Good stuff, though, yeah. So great stuff over this past weekend. A lot of good stuff coming up. Big Time Basketball presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress. Don't miss a game. Eric and I on the call all season long. You'll see the schedule on the crawl as we go along, too. Enjoy.